Welcome everybody. My name is Aaron Gansky. I am an author. I play Magic. I read Marvel. I'm going to do a draft today of Core Set 2019 on Magic Arena. I like Magic Arena because it's free to play for the most part, and it lets me draft and play sealed. Two of my favorite formats, and I can also do constructed there as well. I've got a few constructed decks I want to show off, but I think today for now we're going to just go ahead and start off with a simple draft. Since this is my first stream, we'll see how things go. So we're going to go ahead and buy in here with our coins. I find that if you are pretty good about going in and doing your daily quests, that you can easily get to the 5,000 coins that it takes to get to do a draft. And if you're pretty decent at the draft, you can usually earn enough what are these gems to be able to do another one. With draft, I've got a couple different strategies, and I'm sure you listen to plenty of podcasts and watch plenty of YouTube, and you've got your own theories as well. But for me, I tend to try and draft rares in Arena since they're the hardest to get, unless it's just wildly out of my colors, or if I don't like the card at all. I'm not a huge red fan, so I typically don't take red. Looking at Patient Rebuilding, I know this can end up being a pretty decent mill card, and mill is definitely a thing in M19, but I'm also super attracted to Gift of Paradise because it helps do mana fixing, gain a little bit of life. I like to play a lot of multicolored decks, big into Sultai and Bant, and so I'm always attracted to these types of cards. It might end up wheeling though, but I feel like I might be able to do something. It's double blue. I don't like taking double blue on the first pack, first pick, but if we get some decent mill pieces coming around, we might have a chance here. One of the other reasons I like doing mill, especially in M19 standard, is because you have a 40 card deck for the most part, and so it's a lot easier to mill through that. Militia Bugler is just a really good card. It's used to be played pretty heavily in the standard format, but I'm not white. The only blue option that I have is Divination, which I like, but I'm not sure that I'm wanting to jump into that. I also like green. I really like blue-green, and this is a decent enchantment here. But I feel like I'm going to go ahead and go with this because it's a little easier to build around. It lets me look at the top 4 cards in my library, and then I can reveal a creature card with power 2 or less from among them and put them into my hand. So this is good for constructed, but it might also be beneficial here in draft. So I'll go ahead and take the Bugler. Blanchwood Armor, I'm just going to I just want to take it right away because I need it. So I'm going to go ahead and grab it, and because I need it for some of my constructed decks. I know it's probably not the smartest one, but it's what I'm doing. These are the kinds of junk rares that you get. I notice in draft, especially in Arena, I rarely see any good rare cards come my way. I usually end up seeing some junk rares, and this is a good example of that. It's probably got a place, but I don't know what that place is. So I'm not seeing much that's going to help me with the mill, and I'm not seeing much that's going to be this is again another good one for green kind of enchantments, which is good, but I really like this one as well. The ability to scry is pretty powerful, but what I like about this is it gives a creature trample, and you can pull it back into your hand even if that creature dies. I'm also looking at the Daybreak Chaplain. It's looking like I might go green-white auras, and if I do, the Chaplain's really good with the lifelink. This is just really good removal, and since I already have one white card and I'm feeling a little bit more like I'm going green-white, I'm going to go ahead and take the Luminous Bonds. Leonin Vanguard is another good one. Manolith is nice, but I'm not doing all the different colors. I'm not really doing an artifact theme. I feel like this is probably going to be my best bet. And here's the Enchanter. So the fact that it's gotten this far is pretty impressive. It tells me not a lot of people are running green-white enchantments. So it looks like that's probably where I'm going to end up here. Like this, but again, it's a tap land, nothing too exciting. Instead, I could go Bant enchantments. So that's not bad. Giving it evasion is really, really good as well. If I'm going bent, this might actually be a good option here. And since I don't have any green or white to choose from, um, really like anticipate as well. I'm gonna go with the problem with I'm gonna go with this one. I'll go with this one. This is just really expensive. This I find to be one of my favorite later picks. The fact that it's got native vigilance, you start throwing some auras on that, and it starts to get pretty scary pretty quick. So I really like that one. I'm gonna go ahead and pick up another Talons here, and this is an exciting. This I like cards that draw me cards, especially in sealed format and draft, because one of the big defining things is going to be whether or not you're able to find the answers that you have. Even if you have the answers in your deck, if you're not finding them, it's not going to do you any good. And I notice if you don't get a good draw, sometimes you just lose the game right off. This is in my color, so I'm going to go ahead and take it. Lava Axe is not exciting to me. That's a sideboard card. And yeah, I mean, I'm not playing black. So what do we have here? We've got a Merfolk, and the green-blue Merfolk deck on Arena is really, really good. But I don't. I've noticed there's a lot of these rares that just don't really do anything. This is good, especially to wear some auras. This is good in the fact that it has some natural evasion, so I may end up going with that. But the problem is you can't really enchant it, because when it becomes the target of a spell, you have to sacrifice it. So can't really enchant that, which is no bueno. Not what we want to be doing here. Oaken Form is a really solid enchantment. Let me see, I've got creature. 1, 2, 3. Do I really need 3? I'm going to go ahead and grab an Oaken Form here. Not doing the artifact thing. There's a lot of artifact support in M19, but I've just never seen it really do much. This is another solid one, removal. So it's between one of these two things. And I'm really tempted just to do this, because if there's a creature floating around with indestructible, this doesn't really do much. And it has to be tapped. This doesn't. So even though it costs one more, it's a little more reliable. So I like that. 1+1+7 is interesting. But I'm not sure it's exactly what we want. This one's not bad. It's 2/4 for 4, and it gives us some of that incidental life gain. This is a 3/1, so it could wear some enchantments pretty well, which is nice. So for me, it's between these two, and I feel like we may want to be a little more aggressive. The problem is my enchantments. That gives it +1/+0, and it can't be blocked, so I don't have to worry about the toughness. Not a lot of boost on the toughness for these, so I think I'm going to go ahead and do this, because if I can get one of those enchantments on, it's going to look pretty good. That's an interesting card, but I'm not sure it's what I want to do. I have found that this card can be a real benefit. Johnny's Last Stand is, I've never been able to convince myself that I like that card. It looks good, but it just never seems to work out. On the contrary, we've got this. It's a 4/3 flyer and gains us some life. That's not bad. This is going to help on the aggro plan. I feel like what we want, though, is going to be something a little more on the top end if some of our creatures die early on. Something on that higher end might help us out here. And then I'm just going to go ahead and take... see, again, it's between these two. but this just really wears the auras. This is kind of doing what I want it to do. And I've already got, let's see, what, 2 luminous bonds. It could still, I mean, it's never, see, look, this is what I'm talking about. 2 of the packs have the same rare, and neither of them are really that great. Um, this isn't bad, but again, I'm not sure it's exactly what I want to be doing. Here's another luminous bonds, but I think I just kind of want to throw some falcons out there and start loading them up. Here's another luminous bond. Those are always floating around. So now we've got 3 of them. Inspired charge isn't bad. Divination isn't bad. But I just don't like the double white mana cost on it. I may be cutting blue. I likely will be cutting blue because I just have this one enchantment, so it makes divination a little less exciting to me. So I'll take inspired charge since it's still in my colors at least. I could do another enchantment, which is nice. I've got how many of these? 2? 2 of these could be good, but this could also be good, especially if we're facing any sort of aggro decks. And so this is good when they kind of go on their alpha strike. It allows us to kind of do a little bit of combat trick, win on the backswing. But I'm wondering if we just want to be a little more consistent and just have the auras to throw on our creatures. This isn't really doing much in that regard, so let's do that. Try and have a consistent deck here. I like this because there's usually some sort of target artifact or enchantment that makes your life difficult. Not sure that there's, can't remember what there is in, a lot of the mill stuff. This would be really good if we face the mill deck. But I think I'm just going to go ahead and think we're more likely to face, I'm going to do this just because it's good to have at least one, right? If nothing else, it can go on our sideboard. And nothing here. Well, I guess we're getting, oh, you know what though? I do want the plummet. That can be really good, especially since we'll have some flyers, but if they don't last long, we're going to be real weak in the air. So Bone Dragon is nice. It's a mythic. It's not in our colors. I like that it's a mythic. I'm tempted to take it, but I just don't know that it's worth it for this particular thing. What I do like though is a 4/2 that draws me a card. Could also get the 3/7 with vigilance, but it's just so expensive, and I don't really want to be waiting around till 7 mana, 6 mana, 7 mana to be dropping some of these things. This is good. Gives us a little bit of consistency. We can pull back some of the things that are good. I do like the 2/2 Death Touch. It makes it hard for them to swing into. I do like the reach, but I feel like especially in the late game when we're up to 5 mana, we're probably wanting some more cards in our hand. These cards are really good, just not in our colors right now. Here's another kind of naturalized type thing, but with a little bit of incidental life gain. A lot of blue, a lot of black. I'll just go ahead and snap another Rocks Oracle here. Dwarven Priest again, naturalize. The Courser is good, but I think I want the Oaken form. I just like getting that big creature. Graveyard Marshal's not bad, especially it's a good addition to the intro block deck, Graveyard Bash, whatever it is. So if you're just starting out on Arena, this might be a good pick. If you see something like this that you know is going to immediately help your deck, and you feel like your deck is good as is, then you may want to do that. I really like this again because of the lifelink. I really like lifelink. I know I'm weird that way. We already have 3 luminous bonds, but can we have too many? How many total removal do we have? We have that and plummet, which is a very narrow target for removal. So I feel like probably doing luminous bonds again. I just really want to gain all the life, and we've got 3 luminous bonds, so I'm going to take this. Here's another good one, but again, not in our. I guess nobody's playing black. This is pretty remarkable. Kind of makes me wish I had been playing black this whole time. Make a stand. Creatures get +1/+0 and indestructible. But there's another enchanter. You can't really pass that. Like that's just exactly what we're doing. Trusty Pack Beast. Artifact we don't care about. So I guess it's Highland Game. Johnny's Welcome is not bad. We're not going to be dropping a ton of creatures. We're not like that token deck. I like this because especially if we've got, you know, something enchanted up. We've got our Rustwing Falcon with where is it? The Oaken form. Now we've got a 4/5 flyer, and now all of a sudden it's a 6/5 flyer. Um, that's kind of nice. I like that, and I just think it's more relevant than this. And the incidental life gain here, we've got creatures, but we don't have a ton. And I don't think that we don't have any of the life gain synergies. If we were doing mill, this would have been it, but I haven't seen any of the mill pieces coming around. I could do this because it wears enchantments real well, but I just really like drawing cards, and that's going to be one of our uh, struggles is to draw the cards that we need. We've got a couple card draw down here, but I think we only have one of the Revitalize as it is. But we also don't have a Swift Clause, do we? We have one Swift Clause. I'm going to go with this one. This isn't doing much for me here. I'll grab it just on the, to have it on the other side. At this point, there's nothing for my deck. I've got all the lands, so I start thinking about what I want for sealed. I already have 4 of these, otherwise I would immediately take that. So something's going to help me toward Vault Progress, but I just don't know what it is. I'll go with the Macabre Waltz. Never hurts to bring something back from your graveyard, right? Here's another Naturalize. I don't think I'm going to main board it, but just in case we run into... Well, I don't even know. These both say draw a card, but at this point I guess it doesn't really matter, so I'll just pick this because it's in my color. I like Sovereign's Bite for sealed decks. I love Tormenting Voice. I do want to build a Reanimator deck, and that's one of the integral pieces. Now typically what I do is I tend to not grab the lands. Usually just with the basics, it's a pretty even split here. I'm at 49 out of 40 cards. I do want to run exactly 40. I like this. I like this. This is not really what we're about, so I'm going to take that out. This, again, I think can be pretty positive. These all really wear their enchantments well. I like the Revitalize. I love the Sentinel. I'm not excited about the Highland Game because it has to die for us to get any real benefit out of it. I'm not convinced that we're going to, even if we face the mill deck, I don't think this is going to save us. I think we're just going to have to pressure them. The Plummet, we already have 3 Luminous Bonds, so I just don't feel like that's super necessary if I'm trying to make cuts. The Root Snare, again, might be kind of nice, but I just can't see it being something that we're trying to accomplish here. This says with power 2 or less. So if we play our Militia Bugler, what are we going to get from it? We can get 1, 2, 3, 4, nope, 4, about 4 different creatures. But it is 2/3 with Vigilance for 3, so it wears enchantments well. Not taking that out, not taking those out, not taking that out. The Inspired Charge is not really how we're trying to win. The Herald of Faith, the 4/3 flyer might actually be more relevant. Knight of the Tusk, I just can't get behind a 6 mana 3/7. So I need to drop 2 more cards. I have gone above 40 before and just added an extra land, but we're so close here that if I added an extra land, I'd probably want to add more cards back in, and I just don't think that's where we want to be. So I'm going to leave this because the 4/3 flyer is going to put a lot more pressure on. So I will drop the Rocks Oracles. And we're going to give this a shot. I'm going to change the deck art because I can. So let's go ahead. We're done. Let's see what we can do. Got 3 forests, which is good because I've got 2 of these here. If I draw into a single plains, I'm going to be in really good shape. So I'm going to keep this. And there's my plains. My life is good. Okay, see, I wish we had had this to begin with. So here my decision is, do I want the 2/2 vigilance, knowing that it's probably going to get shocked, or do I want the 1/2 flyer, knowing that it's probably going to get shocked? We'll start with the flyer. We'll see if they find that to be more of a threat. Plus, it's got higher toughness, so if it does survive this turn, getting it past shock range with a +1/+1 is going to be positive. And it looks like that's going to happen. Be able to drop this here. And then I can go ahead and suit that up. Swing in with my 2/3 flyer. Yeah, he's got a couple 3-power things. That's no bueno. So I think it's going to be a little more important for us to go ahead and lock this down because I don't want it tapping our falcon every time. I am attacking. I'm trying to be more of the aggressor here. Even though he's technically kind of winning this race, especially now that he's got a 3/3 haste. That's no bueno. He's being faster than what I want. So let's do this. Let's do the militia bugler. And let's get the enchanter, which is exactly what we want. And then we're going to suit him up as well. Make him the 3/4. We are going to go ahead and swing in with our flyer just to try and keep the pressure on, knowing that he's likely going to have to, if he's attacking into us, he's attacking into something that's going to win there. And that's bad news. So really what we want to see here is we are in bad shape right now. And another land is not really what we're about. So we got to keep this here to block that. I got to keep this here to block this. I'm going to go ahead and drop the sentinel. And let's see if we can kind of go wider than him. Once this dies, though, we're in real bad shape. And we're in real bad shape. That's going to be game. Not the best start. I kind of liked what our deck was doing, but they just had a really fast start. A lot of 3-power creatures right away. And we only get 3 losses, and that's one of them. Starting off 0-1. No bueno. Not what I like to see. All right, I'm going to go ahead and keep this again. If I can get that 1 plains, I'm going to be in really good shape. I like that I'm starting off with 2 forests. Would have preferred to start off with a plains and a rust-winged falcon. It's usually my preferred method of starting a game. So I've got a couple blue. We might be playing that mill deck. Let's go ahead and suit him up and swing for 3. In retrospect, I wonder if I should have just dropped the second sentinel. So that bugler would be really cool if I could cast it. I do feel like the, I don't know if the shuffler, the randomizer, whatever you want to call it on Arena is, tends to be very either land heavy or the opposite. Where you just don't ever get lands. I did not want to swing with this guy. Well, apparently I scared him. So that's good. I also noticed this about Arena is that you'll also get those early scoops, which, you know, I'm not going to complain about it. I try not to be the early scoop guy, but there are times where it's very clear and apparent that I am not going to win. At those times, I don't mind scooping early. So here we've got both of our colors. We've got a 3-1 and something for it to wear and a bugler. So I'm keeping it because we can always draw another card if we need to. And I kind of like having a 4-2 on turn 3. Now I really just want one more land. And ideally, that's really all we need is just one more land. We don't have a ton of, you know, 4-cost stuff, 5-cost stuff. Most of our stuff is under 3 mana. So that's problematic. Do I draw a card and try to get a land to play? I think at this point I'm just going to suit him up. Can't attack into that just yet. See, he's got 3 lands. He's playing green-blue. I already like what he's got going on here. Oh, I like it a lot. I like it a lot. So I don't want to block because I don't want to lose my dude. Now, the Falcon is nice because we can start swinging on in the air. I was half tempted to attack there, let this die so I could get this back from my graveyard later. We already lost one. And so now, here's that mill deck that I was talking about. And he's got, just happens to have a 3-2 flyer. I'm going to let that through. I don't think we have to worry about our damage nearly as much as we have to worry about being milled out. Oh, this is what I'm talking about. Cannot buy a land. This game would be wildly different if there's my land. There's 2 of them I could have used. Meanwhile, turn 5, he's got his 5. Okay, so at this point I am going to go ahead and block. It's a pretty decent spell there for 3. Okay, so that's the land I've been waiting for. I kind of want to do this for the card draw aspect, but it's probably a little more important for me to play some defense here. And so I am not going to attack. I want to try and play a little defense before I start swinging in. Now, seeing he's got Blanchwood armor too, and he's got a lot more forests than I do. No blocks. I don't know that I'm getting out of this, guys. Not a lot I can do. I can throw the Oakenform on there. But we've got 2 clocks working against us. And that's what's very problematic. I'm down to 18 cards. So I've got to find a way to get rid of this and start attacking in. I hate trading here, especially since he's probably got a combat trick. But I don't feel like I can let 7 through. I'm gonna... Oh, this is kind of dumb. I've got a Luminous Bonds. So I'll do this here. Probably not playing anything with haste. I haven't seen any red cards. That's going to be bad too. So let's lock this dude down. Got to stay on defense. And if I can deal with this, then I can start swinging in. That's going to be bad for us. See, this is the deck that I want to be playing, what he put together. This is nice. I love green-blue. All of my heart. This is where some of the life gain would also come in handy. So I've got 4 lands. That's 2 drops. Let's see. He's got 2 things swinging in. So let's do a. See, 2/3 becomes a 3/4. Still dies. So we might as well put something out there that can at least. This still won't be enough to get rid of him. I don't even know that it's worth suiting it up. I'm just trying to use my mana as much as possible here. See, even if he gets, yeah, we're all kinds of dead, man. But I don't mind losing to decks like this. It's just, okay, well, that's going to be game. So I'll let him go ahead and do it rather than conceding. Let him get that thrill of victory. So normally I do a lot better. This is kind of disappointing. I haven't played M19 in a long time. I used to do it quite a bit, but I don't think I'm going to be earning enough here to play another draft. I still don't know that our deck is bad. It's just we got landlocked on that last game. See, this would be great if I had 1 forest, but it's so hard to keep this without a forest. But it's also, I mean, if I mulligan it, what am I going to look at? It might actually be worse. So turn 1, if I pull exactly a forest, turn 2, then I'd have to pull another land, turn 3, and on. I'm going to have to mull. I mean, I guess I keep, and that's not a bad draw. This is another redraw here to try and get us that forest that we need. Oh, green-blue again, man. Is this the same guy? I feel like this is the same guy here. So let's do this. And let's get a forest next turn, huh? I'm going to say hello. See if he responds. Green blue, I will say, I've always found to be pretty powerful. Thank you. That was very kind of you. In Magic, it's really turned into a pretty powerful color combination. And then we'll play our Falcon. So we're pretty wide already. So he may turn something into an ox. Whoa, Arcades. And that is super bizarre. And here we go. So Arcades is he likes defenders, so it can't attack or block, but it's still gonna draw him cards when he plays defenders, and his defenders are gonna assign combat damage equal to their toughness rather than its power. So I'll have to kind of keep an eye on that. It's got a 3/2 here. Question is, what do I put this on? +1/+1 and trample. So I make a 2/4 and swing in with these two. It seems reasonable. And then we'll do all attack and pull him back. Actually, you know what? We'll see if he wants to exchange with his 3/2. Try and keep the pressure on. He's already at 13. I'm at 24. So this keeps the battlefield clear, or at least relatively clear. If I don't get a land next turn, I'm hoping to get a land next turn. Then I can do a Rescos or my Sentinel, and then also draw a card. So he's just dropping everything here. And he can still turn one of my guys into a 2/4. Which would take away my flying. And what's he killing? He's killing my 2/4 and giving me a 2/4. So I do have another luminous bonds here. But I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and swing in and see if he wants to throw something in front of my ox. He does. So we'll go ahead and do that. And I'm tempted just to try and get this back, but I think at this point, again, trying to go kind of wide. If he wants to turn this into an ox, he can turn it into an ox. That's fine. That's one of the things with the transmogrifying wand is, you know, you're taking a bunch of smaller creatures and turning them into bigger creatures, taking away some of the abilities. I don't have the life link anymore, obviously. This would lose vigilance, but, you know, it's something. So this guy's all over the map. He wants some blue artifact stuff, but he also took a knight. But I don't know if he has an... I'm imagining he's got some other knights in there somewhere. Kill our flyer. Makes me sad. And he's got a 3/4 here. But I still have a luminous bond, which is what I will play now. And we will go on the attack. So he's going to trade there. He's down to 5. No blockers. We've got 2 attackers. Interesting. Mirror image this guy. So that was pretty decent. He got a mythic, 2 rares, something like that. Not bad, not bad. Okay, so he's got a 4/5. Not sure why he's saying oops. Let's go ahead and revitalize real quick. See if we get anything. Oh, we got something. I'm going to keep the pressure on. I know I'm kind of throwing one of these guys away, but it's going to take him down to 3. And we'll put this guy in the air. He'll probably end up killing it. I probably should have played the other one now that I think about it. What did I lose? Land and another enchanter. So he's got 2 big blockers. It makes me sad. It makes me sad. Now would not be the time to suicide in. Our goal here is to swing in. Next turn we've got 4. He can only block 2, so probably block. He takes 4. It's assuming he doesn't play anything here, which he did. Of course he does. But I don't think he had an artifact card in there. This is where the evasion would have been really nice if I'd kept the blue one, but I think we would have lost more games that way. Another luminous pawns. Our last luminous pawns would be real nice. And is he going to go on attack here? Is he going to hit me for 8? Okay. Do I make something bigger? I think I just need to get one more out there. If I make something bigger, I need to go wider than he is right now. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so he's got, okay, so now we can go ahead. What I'm going to do this real quick. And even though I won't be able to play it, it's at least in my hand. But this should be it. Because he can only block 1, 2, 3. No more things here. So yeah, that should be 4 damage coming through. He doesn't have lifelink. There we go. We got a win. Excellent. 2 wins. So not shabby, not great. Let's see if we can keep it going. That deck that he was playing didn't seem like it had been put together as nicely as the green-blue deck, which had some really good synergies. I think our deck is pretty synergistic. I feel like we got a really decent green-white build. I'm pretty happy with it. I just wish it had been performing better. So let's go here. That's good. We just need another land, right? One more land and we're in business. So here, the Swiftclaw or the Sentinel. I really like having the 3/3 Vigilance. That's really something that I feel like is super important. And I'm actually going to, I think I'm going to play this first so that I can get the benefit from drawing cards. See if he cancels it. Yeah, see, and he probably would have canceled my Oaken form. I can still get in for 2. So some sort of control deck, permission deck maybe, which, you know, technically we're far ahead right now. One thing that I'm going to try here is I'm going to go ahead and put this out and not my Oaken form, just in case he had a counter. I can pull that one back later if necessary. Eventually, at some point, he will have to deal with this 3/3. Again, I hate running the Oaken form right into it, but I feel like, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to attack and see if we can go wide. Okay, so there he had a counter spell. Irony is if I had played the Oaken form, he may not have had the counter for it. So here's a 3/5, and we're going to have to deal with that. So get rid of that. Here's 3. Wouldn't mind another Luminous Bonds. That would be really nice. Okay, 3 still, so he still has counter mana. Okay, so what I can do, this guy can't attack or block. So I'm going to start with this, make sure my mana taps correctly. It is. And then I am also going to, since that resolves so quickly, I'm going to go ahead and try the Oaken form, which also resolved. So he's taken 5. He can block 2 of it. Put him down to 4 or to 2 if he chooses not to block. Now the disadvantage is if he has some sort of bounce spell, I'm in big trouble. Bounce would put it back in my hand, so that would be okay, but I haven't seen anything that would suggest that he's at, you know, is at a range of red. I haven't seen any black, so he probably doesn't have like a kill spell or anything. still is going to have to block more than 4 damage. He's going to have to block at least 6 damage. So that'll buy him a turn. Lets him get in. Hope he feels better about himself here. And I could just drop in a Herald of Faith. So that should be pretty much it. We should be able, I don't know what these cards are, but should be able to finish it out next turn. So I'm not even going to, I mean, I've got lethal. He said good game. So here's my good game. And he's going to let me finish it off. So that's nice. Classy. Super classy. I really try and avoid the good game. And I try actually not to offer the good game, even if I know I'm going to win. I don't offer it until I've won. Just because I've had people tell me good game because they think they're going to win and they end up not winning. And it's just kind of lame. Exile target creature with power 3 or less. Interesting. Alrighty. I don't know if that's got a place in standard. I haven't seen it floating around much. And so we're on to our next round. Also, I noticed that the queue, normally you don't have to wait very long. Usually it's less than 30 seconds for it to find a match. So I've been pretty happy with that. I've been happy with Arena so far. I did play a lot of duels, and one of the things that I liked about duels is that, I don't know if you played it in the past, but it had a different kind of deck building system. The most recent one did, where you could only have one mythic rare in a deck, one copy of each mythic rare in a deck. This looks pretty solid. And you could only have 2 copies of a rare, 3 copies of an uncommon, and 4 copies of a common. So the deck building was a little bit different. It made for some more jankier brews. You could still have high synergies, but the consistency, there was a lot more variance to it, which I appreciated because you weren't just seeing the same decks over and over. And I really appreciated that about the format. I know I'm probably a little bit more of a casual player than most people are. But it was enjoyable to me, and this has that same kind of feel, at least in terms of the way it looks. I like the way it looks. So 2/1 lifelinker. Let's go ahead and suit up here. My Blanchwood armor only gives it +1/+1 right now, so might as well just give it the trample with talons. Wouldn't mind drawing a few more forests here. All forests all the time. That'd be real nice. Forests, not plains. So I'm just going to go ahead and put one of those away so I can keep attacking here. Kind of want to be the aggressor. Let's see here. Oh, good. Okay, so I can actually play. I'm going to move to combat. He missed his land drop. That's pretty good for me. Feel bad for him, but I'm going to go ahead and drop both of these. I don't think there's a lot of sweepers here in this format. I'll be right back. I got to let my cat in. What's up, Mystique? Come on. Ah, there's a forest. My life is good. Now, I like keeping it on him, but I think I want to spread the wealth for a variety of reasons. If I put it over here, this becomes a bit more of a threat as well. And so now I can swing in with these two for sure. I don't think I'm not quite ready for that. Not quite ready to offer the Swift Claw yet. Come on, Mystique. My cat's name is Mystique. Come on, kitty. Come on up. We have 2 cats. Oh, she just stole my mouse. Come here, cat. It's not a real mouse. We got Jean Grey. Oh, I see. Now I missed what happened. What just happened here? Skeleton Archer. 1 damage to any target. See, I should have swung in with him. I'm actually not going to play my land. And I will tell you why. If he wants to trade, actually, I'm going to swing with both. Nah, just a 3/5. If he wants to give up both of his, it's not going to be both of his. And he's going to gain 2. I did not think that through. I'm going to hang on to the plains. It seems weird, but one of my strategies is that the opponent may be more likely to think that I have some sort of combat trick. Okay, well, this is disappointing. I was really in control, and now things are starting to slip away, and I am not going to enchant his creatures for him. Oh, my cat is so dumb. Okay, so now all I'm getting is land. This is kind of what I was talking about. You just hit all the lands or none of the lands. And so I am going to be in some big trouble now. What I could use is that 4/3 flyer right now. But even that may not be enough. And this is the disadvantage to enchantments. They kill one. It's a 2-for-1. Probably going to be my last game here. So 4, 8, 10. Hitting me for 10, and I'm at 14. But he's gaining 2, so I'm going down to 2. To 3. So at this point, I'm clearly lost. So I'm just going to go ahead and enchant his creatures for him. There you go, sir. Enjoy. Good game. I'll let him have his fun. Let's see, now he's just rubbing it in. That's all right. Have your fun. I do like that Arena is more of a casual format. I like the casual format. I'm competitive, but I'm not so competitive that I'm going to get, angry and irritated. And I've done GPs and I've done stuff like that, and it's sometimes you meet cool people and sometimes you don't. And so on Arena, I'm just playing to have fun. So claim my prize here. I got 300, not enough to play another draft, but what I did get is 2 packs. So you'll notice the prizes, you only get 1 pack, but you also get a percentage, a 20%. If you don't win anything, you get a 20% pack to get an extra pack. 20% chance to get an extra pack. Then it goes up to 22, 24, 26, etc., all the way up here to where you get 2 packs for sure if you get all 7 wins and a bunch of gems. I don't know exactly how many gems, but you get a lot. So let's go see what I got. So new card. Rupture Spirit is nice. I like it because I play a lot of those multicolored cards. What did we get? Death Baron. Again, that's really good for that Graveyard Bash intro deck that they have. It's not terrible, and it's pretty easily upgradable. This guy's kind of a beast. Another thing here, you just got another rare wild card, so that's nice. Crucible of Worlds. I love this. I always want to do something with Scape Shift and Crucible of Worlds. This might be my second one. So I don't know what that deck looks like just yet. I'm going to have to figure that out. But there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That was my M19 draft, my first live stream here on Twitch and YouTube. Really hope you appreciate it. If you did, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel and tell your friends. I will be doing other streams about Marvel, all things Magic, and I also am an author and a novelist, so I've got plenty of books. Check me out at aarongansky.com, aarongansky.com. Hope you had a great night. Have a wonderful evening and enjoy time with family for all you out there celebrating Thanksgiving or Black Friday shopping. Enjoy your family when you get back, whatever it might be. All right.